I called this presentation Maximum Capital, Minimum Complexity, because that's what we're all here to do, right? How to raise the most amount of capital with the least amount of pain, effort, and complexity. So, as it was said in the intro, we are Venmo for capital raising, but I don't even want to talk about software and features because none of you are here to learn about software and features. Nobody cares about that, me included. I get sold software all the time. I want to have a better understanding and share with you what does it actually mean to use Verivend and what is that experience going to look like. So, keep me honest here, but the three most important things to all of you are finding great deals, raising capital to close those deals, and maximizing investor returns. Is that fair? Yes. Okay, I see a couple hands. Nobody's throwing tomatoes, so I'll take that as a yes. Okay, and that's it, really, right? It doesn't get any easier than that. Well, how are you going to market your deals? You have to onboard your investors, KYC, AML, accreditation, gather soft commitments, figure out who's in, who's out, and for how much. Digital signatures, updating your investors, keeping that communication going like everybody's been talking about, managing data rooms, reconciling wire transfers, both incoming and then outgoing for distributions of capital, and then those distribution payments. So wait a second. What happened to those three most important things? There's a lot of distraction with what we're all trying to do. And anything else that doesn't allow you to find deals, close deals, and maximize returns is a distraction. On average, and this is based on our own customers' data, investment sponsors are spending 1 hour of time per investor per interaction. And if you were counting all of those things that were covering up the most important things to you, it's 8 interactions on average. So let's do the math on that. You do a deal with 20 investors, 8 interactions, an hour of time per interaction, that's 160 hours of time. 4 weeks. That sounds like a pretty big distraction. And it should be like this. You find a deal, you close a deal, you straight line it through. Easy, right? Does it kind of feel like this, though? And it's like this with all of these other things on top of it. Microsoft Word docs, Excel spreadsheets, email, Dropboxes, data rooms, bank transfers, signatures. And all of this is costing investment sponsors countless hours and costly labor manually raising and deploying capital because, for those of you who have run deals before, you're probably accustomed to having to prepare and send notices, usually can take a couple hours to a couple days, weeks of waiting and following up, making sure people are getting those notices and funding them, and then more days of manual reconciliation to get those funds in. And the status quo for your investors is just a terribly manual process full of friction. And it looks like this a lot of times. You send the notices out, your investors delay, you give a friendly phone call that's not received as so friendly, it agitates your investor, and the cycle continues. So it's this multi-step process with these circling back steps of you having to follow up, and it's not a great experience for anyone. Amazon makes it super easy to buy because they want you to buy. So you should be making it super easy to invest for your investors. And that's not even including what I'm about to talk about, the fraud and the risk. Exchanging bank account information and sending wires has the potential to defraud investors. So just quick, yell out a number. How much, on average, is the dollar amount you think is being defrauded by investors every time there's a capital call scam? 105,000? 155? Keep going.
5 million.
A little bit lower, but I appreciate the ambition there. So we got 155,000 and 5 million, $809,000. We've all heard the horror stories. A bad actor introduces fraudulent wire instructions. The last second, oh, the bank account has changed, and then the wire just goes out, and the funds are out there in the ether. And also, how long do you think wire transfers have been around? Again, take a guess. When was the first wire transfer sent? What year? Anybody know? Way longer than 8 years ago. Earlier than 19 whatever, and then a little bit later than 1814. 1872. 152 years, people have been doing the same thing over and over again. So let's go back to the math. 20 investors per deal, 8 interactions, 1 hour of time per interaction, 160 hours of time spent on that. 4 weeks of time. So the question is, what could you be doing with an extra 4 weeks of time per deal? Finding more deals? Closing more deals? Better returns for your investors, focusing on your portfolio? Should be all focusing on that. So a quick highlight on one of our customers closed a $20 million investment from over 100 investors in 24 hours. And it took what is typically a 10 to 20, sometimes 30-day process, took it right down to a day. So a little bit about who we are. We're a financial technology company. We're headquartered in Buffalo, New York. I know that sounds like a funny place. That's where I'm from. I take no offense. We got snow, we got the Bills, but that's where our company is headquartered, born and raised there. We are an all US-based team and all US-based technology. We have never outsourced or offshored anything. It's all US-based. We were founded 5 years ago, and we've been in market for over 4 years. And who do we support? All of you. Whether you're a deal-by-deal sponsor, a GP, a fund manager, you're raising capital, we support your investors, your LPs, your members, in all asset classes. So not only real estate, private equity, venture capital are also our customers in all entity types, whether you're doing deal-by-deal syndications or you're running funds. Entrusted by Verivend, over $1 billion in transactions have been processed across over 150 investment sponsor customers who've run over 700 deals across over 13,000 investors on our platform. And we don't just do the payments. We power the entire investment journey. So all of those distractions that we talked about a few slides ago, from marketing deals to distribution payments and everything in between, is what you can do on our platform. And how we're different, we are the only purpose-built financial infrastructure that is specific to capital raising. We are the Venmo of private capital to make it as easy and simple for you and your investors. And the real secret differentiator here is the Verivend Vault. And that's just not a sexy marketing term, that's real. And what that means for all of you and your investors is you get built-in banking. You get a secure place where you can raise, store, and deploy capital. It gives your investors a frictionless and secure investment experience, one click to invest. Nobody's ever having to exchange banking instructions. And oh, by the way, all funds are fully FDIC insured in your Verivend Vault, whether it's $5 million, $50 million, or $100 million, well over the standard $250,000 maximum that we usually get. So, your return on investment on using Verivend is going to be these 3 simple things. You can find more deals, you can close more deals, and you can maximize returns further because you're not being distracted by everything else. So, in closing, what I'd like to do is invite you to download our free capital raising blueprint. This is going to give you tips and summarize what we talked about here today and just help you think differently about why you should be thinking differently in raising capital and running your deals and running your investments. So take a minute and scan that. It's just going to ask you for a little information. Don't worry, we don't spam. We don't have automated outbound emails that are just going to hit you all day. And we have one other really cool thing that we're doing. So I am a sucker for free stuff. My wife hates it, but I love free stuff. So, all right, by show of hands, who wants to crush paperwork? Who wants to crush deals instead of paperwork? All right. So, you can wear this proudly. Crush deals, not paperwork. How cool is that? So all you have to do, visit our table. We're right here. This little pop-up has a QR code on it. Register for a demo. It only takes 30 minutes of your time, no commitment, and you can tell everybody how you're crushing deals and not paperwork. Thank you.
Just a second, Rodney.